Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game of the Max and part 17 of our Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich, the Tsardom of Russia. So, in the last episode, we had came over here to China. We had beat Japan, puppeted Japan. We turned around, we beat China, we puppeted China. We are um, getting our claims against Tibet and the Xinjiang clique right now, but these will be a long time away. Might not even see the use of them at any point. All of our army is moving back across, um, and yeah, we're actually preparing for the extinguish the flames, which is the topple government of the Commune of France and the Union of Britain. I kind of wish we could do catch up to the West, but we need a more than 100% of the United States total number of factories, which we do not have. So we're going to kick it on. We are on 4 speed. We're just kind of allowing things to progress right now. Let's see. Air independent. Wait, faster, quieter, or just less fuel usage. We can just use more fuel usage, just make it a little quieter. Nothing wrong with that. Production line of Dreadnought. Complete special program Dreadnought. Can do this one, which helps me with my Navy. Never mind. You here are docked in Oldenburg, so we'll do a strike force. In these regions, I want you convoy raiding all over. Luckily for me, I've got a lot of puppets and allies, so the Ottomans are a puppet. I do need to hurry though, because the United States is invading. We want the ballistic missile, so we gotta wait a little bit longer. And construction. Make you plumb nauseous to look at. Let's do that. I want to get air bases built here, here, here. Yeah. Bring all this stuff to the top. And we'll kick it back off. French Republic has capitulated. Yep. I could have saved him, but I didn't. The U.S. is getting pushed right there. Yes, their resistance to occupation. We just got to bring their resistance down to 30%. It will be good. Doing better static anti-air, which reminds me. The enemy has a lot of anti-air, or has a lot of air just in like a crazy amount. I think the French have like 10,000 something. Oh, look at that! Hold on, max range. Yeah, that's a really bad production output. The birth of Tsarevna. Yesterday morning, radio announcements was met with surprise by the public. The Empress, who has not appeared at public events for the past few months, has given birth to a daughter. The Emperor himself met with journalists today and admitted that he saw no point in announcing his wife's pregnancy because of the possibility the child would develop hemophilia or other complications that could negate the joyful moment. At the end of the interview, he made the remark, the Salic law never existed in Russia. The glorious reigns of the two Yekaterinas, Anna and Elizaveta, clearly demonstrates the need for a man as a ruler as an outdated concept that has no place in modern Russia. The later comment quickly caused an uproar in the hardline monarchist circles, who immediately accused the emperor of being out of his mind and a tyrant going against the traditions of his people. Meanwhile, magazines across Russia began to speculate about impending changes in law that would allow women to take the throne and promote equality and the rights that had not existed before. At the end of the interview, under pressure from several journalists, Vladimir III laughingly answered the most important question and told his daughter's name, which he and his wife had chosen. The name of the Tsarevna of Russia is Maria, in the honor of Mary Magdalene; Yekaterina, in the honor of the greatest empress; Yelovesta, the honor of Peter the Great's daughter; or Alexandria, the honor of the late empress. I like Yekaterina, which is just war support. So, we'll do Yekaterina. I know someone's going to be in the comments like, why would you choose that name? I'm going to be like, oh. I liked it. We were building a lot of these Land Cruiser chassis. We still are building a lot of them. The Empire of the 20th century. In 1917, even the idea of severing nations off the Russian Empire was unthinkable. But Kerensky's government recognized Polish independence and restored Finnish autonomy, not even mentioning removing limitations on Ukrainian and various other languages and cultures. For a long time, the White Movement was adamant these regions were a part of Russia and wanted indivisible. That was over 20 years ago, and it must say that the realities of the world has moved onwards. Nationalism is a genie that cannot be put back in the bottle. That's especially true for the Poles, who have suffered under the century of Russification and Germanization. Virtually unscathed, 25 million people stubbornly drawing strength for their national identity and the Catholic faith. Even our most ardent nationalists rarely champion the annexation of Poland as any kind of serious goal. In fact, Russian expansionism has never been so small-minded as to bother with some specific borders to some specific historical claim for medieval maps. No, these are the squabbles of the visionless Germans. Russia has never allowed borders, peoples, or geography to stop its expansion. If we only cared for true Slavic lands, we would need to abandon half of Siberia. No, Russian imperialism of the 20th century should be dictated by our goals of the dominance of the Eurasian continent, not by petty border squabbles or limitations based on a single ethnicity. In our time, it often means that a grateful client state will serve our goals better than a rebellious province. For a great power, there's no room for sentimentalism. We gain one stability. But yeah, I think the Polish are much better helping us out in this capacity than they were in another capacity. So they have already finished their focus tree. Well, good for them. Logistics companies. Nuclear engines. Ooh. Liberia declares war. I think everybody's finished with their focus trees. You're not. You are. You're not. And you're not. Oh, you're also not. Oh, yeah, because you're... going down this, and then the state of Japan also is doing theirs. Okay. All good here. Sierra Leone. Liberia took one state. The Navy. We could do the Eureka, which is the we'll settle the post-war situation with international, potentially imposing mutual guarantees on neutral countries and arm limits. Additionally, depending on our leverage, we've been able to force international white peace. No, I think we just extinguish the flames. I want the Middle East, and I want Italy, and I want Spain, and I want Britain. I kind of had to hurry up. There was an update actually to the game, and so I had to like rush to play parts of this so that I could actually get the end of the series out. International populists could have joined me, but they didn't. Weather penalty. The Barents Sea. That should be all of them. This occupied territory does not want to drop below. Just can't seem to get it going. Now it's starting to drop. Now it's rising up there. Now it's going up over here. Extinguish the flames. Do you for the dreadnoughts. Max range weather penalty for our destroyers. Which, if I'm not mistaken, we can build the best destroyers. Advanced light ships. No, modern light ships. There we go. I guess you can. Or maybe even anti-air. Oh, it's too expensive. Walk these units over here so I can at least click on it. Someone's justifying on me. German East Asia. Alright. Not sure why German East Asia would. Let's just do attack. Motorization laws. Division speed and coordination. There we go. Where is it? Modern light ship. You have a sonar. So let's actually give you torpedoes here. Save that. Let's do a modern cruiser. You have a radar. And you're too expensive as well. 58. Alright. One here. I'm telling you, to get these guys below 30, we're struggling. The Andine Popular Confederation of War in Brazil. Got dreadnoughts. I guess we can do the super heavy artillery, though we're not using it. Sticks. We can just do RDS-1, which is for the nuclear bombs. research. You. Now we can do production. Modern cruiser. Heroic ships. Let's see. Modern lights. Oh yeah, we got a dreadnought. I guess the experimental. Let them all finish up and move them. And yes, we are trying to build more stuff here. I need aluminum. I guess Austria.
Слушаю. Готов выдвигаться.
I actually kind of want to take you guys. See, I need 5 more. So let me get 5 of you. Switch over to tanks. Take all my tanks. And let's just clear out Tibet. Help the Republic of China get more land. I know you guys probably don't want to see it on 5-speed, but I'm trying to allow the game to progress just a little bit. Though I did see German East Asia was trying to declare war on China for some reason. Huh. Does it end September 15th? Oh. My tanks got over here quick. Alright, Tibet. Declare war. Send. And only call in Mongolia and China. I really didn't even need to call in Mongolia, I just wanted to. Yeah, you can be aggressive. They don't have any anti-tank that I know of. Oh.
Слушай. Выходим! Выходим!
I'm trying to circle them, but...
Готов? Смирно!
Sure. Still can't kill him. It's actually increasing because we're at war.
Готов!
Well, the end of the German government in exile. Disturbing reports are emerging out of the various parts of Africa that are under German rule. Since the German administration has collapsed entirely, it is unclear why or how, but the administration, usually regarded as inefficient abroad and known for its lavish spending, is no more, as the central government no longer can act. Conflict sparked between the continents, the various kingdoms, tribes, and protectorates that can comprise it now fight amongst themselves over new claims and ancient grudges, and cliques of Ascari and German colonial officers attempt to keep semblance of normality. Whether the state of affairs is passing or a dark age of violence is truly beginning in Africa, it's uncertain. However, it is safe to say the German colonial empire has crumbled. There you go.
Идем! Идем!
We can do the axial jet engines, but we kind of need a. Oop. It's only 640 kilometers. Should be defeated pretty soon.
Идем! Идем!
Can't do that, but we can do this. Infrastructure. Take it all.
Готов.
Let all my guys get around. The fate of Tibet. We will give it to the Republic of China. There you go, China. Better logistics companies. Kolchak's dreams. I don't even know if we were ready, but it is what it is. You know what? What's it matter? Who's everybody?
Готов выдвигаться. Выходим!
Cameroon's defeated, or has defeated somebody. This is so fast. Well, we are on 5 times speed, but. And.
Идем! Идем!
Why would you? Oh, I don't think I can. I can argue for it now. Burn.
Внимание!
My tanks would do really poorly, I think, in Italy.
Слушаю!
So take these Marines.
Так точно.
My tanks might be able to do something there, but do that. Wow, it's a crazy amount of stuff. Polesia, I think it is this territory right here. Yes. Fate of Xinjiang. Kinda. Perfect. Cortex Dreams. Do this one. Oh. Quest for the Zemlya Senakov. Hunt for that. The hunt for Zemlya Senakov. Alexander Kolchak has been a 25-year-old first lieutenant when he first met Baron Toll, an eccentric Polish explorer, planning his third expedition to find the missing Arctic island, Senakov Island. Von Toll claimed to have seen the mythical islands as part of his expedition that charted the New Siberian Islands in 1886, rising from the icy white horizon hundreds of miles to the north. The same island had also reported by Fridolf and Nossen's expedition. Something in the Baron's drive intrigued the young Kolchak, who was likewise interested in polar exploration, the final frontier of discovery left to the mankind of the modern age. In 1900, Toll's expedition set sail in St. Petersburg with icebreaker Zarya. They started a 3-year-long journey to the New Siberian Islands and beyond, but they could not locate Senakov Island or Senakov land, and in the end, most of the expedition, including Kolchak, had to turn back. Von Toll, stubborn as ever, pushed forward, and it was the last that was seen of him. Lieutenant Kolchak led a heroic but futile rescue expedition. His crew dared the polar winter for 7 months, but could only tolerate Toll's final hut, or could only locate Toll's final hut and notes on Bennett Island, with little clues as his ultimate fate. The Arctic winter had claimed him. Kolchak continued his successful naval career as an explorer. He was the first one to chart Tsarevna Zemlya, perhaps the last undiscovered archipelago on Earth. Empty spots on the Arctic map were rapidly disappearing with the modern icebreakers and exploration planes. Later, additional mapping expeditions were organized, very often by Kolchak himself, who now enjoyed the resources of the Russian Navy at his disposal. Ushkov Island was discovered in 1935, and it seemed like almost everything to be found has been found. But Senakov Island has eluded him. Had Toll been right, he had died for this belief that the land existed, and as years had passed, it had been subject to more and more speculation. The last undiscovered island of the Arctic that had beaten Kolchak so many times. We must know. So Kolchak is going to go hunting for this island somewhere. Kolchak's next expedition. On a cold spring morning, 3 ships led by the great icebreaker Svyatya Sibir under Kolchak's command embarked on their journey from Petrograd. The icebreakers were well equipped. They even had one Polikarpov float plane for scouting in emergencies. The bravest and most gifted men of the Russian Navy and Academy of Scientists set sail to find the land of Senakov, or perhaps once and for all that it is merely Toll's phantom. Kolchak himself, pushing over 60 years old, is still as energetic as ever, though worried that it may be his last chance to brave the icy hells of the north. The plan was clear. The fleet would sail around Scandinavia, refill at Murmansk, and continue through the Kara and Leptev seas until they reached the New Siberian Islands and turned north. And mapped the sea north of the Delong Islands. That far north, the sea was permanently frozen, and the last part of the journey would be taken by sled or by plane. And an additional goal is to continue pushing east and map potential northeastern routes to America, the main economic benefit of the adventure. Good luck, Admiral, and we get Gorgey Stark as our advisor because Kolchak's gone. Sorry, I had to take a drink there. I had something stuck in my throat. Keep refurbishing all this old equipment. The Old Believers. The Old Believers of the Old Rich List are a significant religious minority in Russia, and ironically, the 20th century has treated them relatively well. This schism within the Russian Orthodox Church traces back to Patriarch Nikon's reforms in the 17th century. Those who did not accept the changes to the right became the Old Believers. a persecuted minority of Christians who consider themselves to uphold the old true tradition of the Orthodox Church. They hold on to the oldest Christian traditions from the Byzantine Church, opposing every change to it. The religious persecution and legal restrictions on these schismatics were ended with the 1906 law on religious tolerance, and ultimately in 1917, all restrictions on any religious creed were removed. In the Republic, Russia's 5 million old believers community were finally able to organize public religious processions and enjoy the same rights as other Christian communities in Russia. Due to the history of the persecution, they have settled many faraway frontiers of Russia, the Transbaikal region, Karelia, and various rural communities dotted across the country. Despite their numbers, old believers tend to be insular and remain away from political life, preferring to isolate themselves in simple rural communities. At least they have dedication. Yeah. Yeah, I want truck down. Oh no, motorized rocket artillery. And I actually am going to give you all. I could give them land cruisers, but I actually want them to have armored recon companies. Though it gives them a little less movement for sure. Actually hurts their defense, so never mind. We're not going to do that. I was just kidding. The Damocles projects. German spies have recently uncovered the papers of research and development programs sponsored by the members of the Third International, dubbed the Damocles Project. It is an extensive multinational study in the destruction power of nuclear fission, with the intent of creating bombs with a destructiveness vastly greater than anything now known. The famous German physicist Albert Einstein has previously warned that a successful nuclear bomb might even be able to turn entire cities into ash. If they should succeed, we would be in a world of horrors. I don't know what civilian nuclear factories do, but I built some. The initiative for nuclear produce electricity for the civilian economy. Oh. Okay. Rocket sites. Built some there. Built some here, Nemel. Yeah. Strike a deal with in the Republic of China. Oh, so we get the Sino-Russian agreement. Oh, it's so good. All right. So we'll do that. So we get a non-aggression pact with them, which they're still my puppet, so I guess it really doesn't matter. But they get negative 7.5% construction speed. We also get that negative 7.5% construction speed, so yeah, that's super dope. Screw this centrifugal jet. These guys have to be tired of just being miserable. New Admiralty shipyards. We get 2 shipyards. 2 dockyards, sorry. Imperial Islands is now a core. Let's do air crew surveys and ground attack factor. Construction. Air bases. I want the motherships. I don't actually see them. Oh, right there, mothership aircraft. And even farther back, let's see. Where's it at? Airbase. The Zili unified the Chinese Republic. Despite the success of the Shanghai Revolution, the dream of the Republic of China seemed to disintegrate with the Zongtong Restoration. Nonetheless, following a failed coup by the Manchu loyalists during the League collapse, the Zili leadership declared the return of the Beiyang Republic. With the readoption of the Republican Constitution and the recent election of President Gao Lingwei, the Zili-led republic seeks to continue the legacy of the Shanghai Revolution. Only time will tell whether or not the Zili will successfully continue their transition from a warlordist clique to the former republic. But their unification of the country shows they are perhaps the most capable of doing so. Passing Tsarevna Zemlya, I have seen the godforsaken Chukotka Peninsula, the blizzard-ridden Wrangel Island, twice visited the fog-enshrouded Novaya Zemlya, and I have seen Friends Joseph Island with an enamel sky and proud cliffs garbed in blue. It's hardened glacial streams, but nowhere have I witnessed such grimness or such depressing, lifeless relief as Tsarevna Zemlya's. With these words, geologist Gorge Yushkov described the northern land together with Admiral Kolchak. They had mapped the archipelago in the 1920s. Savatsia Sabir, small flotilla, passed the strait between February Revolution Island and Norodnik Islands. The glacier was endless on both sides. A bit further north was the Admiral Island, actually second island in the region to be named after Admiral Kolchak. The Kolchak Island proper was discovered by the Toll expedition in 1901. Within the archipelago, there's also Les Belov, White Island, and Alexiev Island. Poor weather conditions forced the expedition into pastime in Kara Sea, but it seems like they could still get to the New Siberian Islands before it would be too late to explore the north. Up in the cold underworld of the earth, it's always a contest against time. Truly the most depressing place of all of Siberia. Who's trying to declare war on me? Germany, East Asia. So they do consider themselves having... Oh, so they can actually do that. Placing the faith in the underdogs. Huh. Okay. They actually probably do need... Oh, they have 0 manpower. Never mind. I was going to say they probably need equipment, but can't do anything because of their manpower issues. Could do, though. Oh, I can't even... I thought you could offer garrison support. I guess not. Your divisions. Let's just send you south. I think we've waited long enough for this war to kick off. South Sakhalin Islands. That's all the way over here. This is the Kuril Islands that we did earlier. Ships of the air, I guess. I forgot. I actually am not building the best planes we could build right now. Rocket engines. Man, rocket engines are cool. Armor plates. Extra fuel. Air-to-air radar. Too heavy. So these are large cannons. These are cannon 2s. Which one's better? You are. Alright. The range is pitiful, but I can build some of them anyway. Range 3,000. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, save you. Then advanced medium. Alright. Distress in the Leptev Sea. Skodko, the second ship of the flotilla, captured a distress call from a convoy to the south. They had been landed by the older icebreaker Budimirovich, but they had been imprisoned by pack ice brought on by unfortunate currents and harsh Arctic weather. They seemed to be at least 4 ships in distress. They lacked food stockpiles to wait the months it would take for another rescue party to arrive. Our ships would be beefy enough to easily help them. After all, Shvatstia Sabir represents the most modern of Russia's shipbuilding. However, this would cost us precious time. Maybe it could be enough to send them Sadko and Sedov and push off with Svatya Sabir. Leaving them there is not an option. The naval law defines the responsibility to help ships in distress if it is possible. The Supreme Admiral of the Navy would not be caught committing such a dishonorable crime. Divert the expeditionary. Let's get that done fast. We get naval organization. He gets gentlemanly enemy retreat chance plus 20%, or naval lineage, which gives us number of ships in first contact plus 25, retreat decision chance minus 25%. We'll send them help. Actually, we'll just divert. Well, I think he would be rushing on, so we'll do that. BMZs. Poltava. Oh, now that I've moved everybody off, I can do a bunch of these. Because of course you can. I wonder if I can ask my puppet.
Слушаю. Выходим! Готов.
You four under this guy.
Я готов.
Just so I can walk them around. Lighthouse nuclear test. We get 1 rocket site. 7 days. 2 air bases. And a Lashkala. And modify the Twilight Struggle by plus 10% war support. Part of the expedition with heavy hearts, the crew of the Svatya Sabir said their farewells to their comrades on board the Sadko and Sedov, which turns out to save sailors was worse less than Kolchak's own had. The moment reminding Kolchak of that fateful day when he had parted with Tull's expedition while the Baron had continued onwards towards Senakov Island, or Senakov Land, the last time the two had seen each other, but it had to be done. Saving men from the icy hell was the duty of a proper sailor. The two others disappeared to the south as Kolchak pressed further east. The summer in the Arctic was here, and the northern ice would be at its weakest. Push onwards. Dual purpose secondaries. Atomic bomb over Semipolensky. The Russians have successfully detonated an atomic bomb in their test site of Semipolensky. Photographs of the Russian crowd of the Kaiserreich steppes are spreading like wildfires, proof of Russian technological marvel. The detonation left a glass irradiated crater 1.5 meters deep, and the shockwaves still caused infrequent damages 1,000 miles from the epicenter. In a formal address, Emperor Vladimir III announced to the world that Russia now possesses atomic weapons and capability to produce more of them. With the most powerful weapon in human history in Russian hands, one can only hope they will wield it responsibly. You guys hope. Before you all tell me, oh, you've got too many there. I know. Fighters. 400 fighters. Ships in the air.
Слушаю.
Who's the other one?
Внимание! Смирно! Выходим!
The end of the road. Weeks dragged along as nightless nights followed one another as the pride of the Russian icebreaker smashed its way further east. Finally, they came to the Senakov Strait, which separated the new Siberian islands with the intent to turn northeast. Once as a young man, Kolchak had crossed the straits on a whaleboat. An icebreaker should make the quest trivial. Somewhere beyond the D-Long Islands, the final resting place of Toll, they summon the Senakov. If it exists, then problems start as the voyage is taking longer than planned. The ice after Novaya Sibir was increasingly strong and caused problems even for Sevya Sibir's steel plates and diesel engines. It quickly dawned on the crew that sailing north would be impossible with only one icebreaker, especially as the pack ice slowly turned into permanent ice the further north they went, and they needed to travel at least 200 miles north from Kotelny Island to confirm the location of Senakov land, and if they did not do it fast, polar night would engulf them all and make exploration impossible. The icebreaker was not enough, but there was two options they could take. Polarkopov and fly north, a dangerous proposal in itself. However, the plane could probably not have fuel for a return journey, so they would have to land possibly on Bennett Island and wait for rescue, or make their way over ice back to Kotelny. The other option would be to travel on ice. They had dogs and sleds with them, and even Kolchak's Yakut colleagues who had been with him on the Novaya Zemlya expedition. They could do like Edmundson and cross the ice from Kotelny to the north all the way up to Yosemite and back, but of course this was an even more physically demanding, if more reliable method. Take the plane, we get bold, or cut corners, take the sleds. Naval damage plus 20, naval defense minus 10. Or we get bold, naval speed plus 10, naval damage plus 5. We'll take the plane. Put some civilian reactors, maybe some nuclear reactors. Centrifugal jet. Thought I put some missiles somewhere around here. Mothership attack. Air can't do anything either. We need ballistic missiles. Let's see, we could select a rocket. Oh, I don't have any. Can't select a rocket. Close air. Close air. The Senakov flyover. The Polar Karpov seaplane took off from colonial ice surface and headed north with only the daredevil pilot, the Bavarian Chekalov, Admiral Kolchak himself, and his science officer Vladimir Vise on board. They had already delayed the flight by a few days, as oil was increasingly bad, but as winter was coming, they had to take their chance before it was too late. 200 kilometers north of Delong Islands were easy to achieve with a plane, a luxury that Toll did not have. It dawned on the explorers rather quickly that Senakov land did not seem to exist, no matter how far north they flew. They saw only an endless amount of polar ice. There was theorizing that the island had existed. It would now be under the polar ice and would probably remain so unless some glacial movement revealed it again. As they were turning back, catastrophe struck. Strong polar winds caught the Polar Karpov, and they were forced to land on ice or risk crashing entirely. Without sleds and dogs, losing the plane would be equal to a death sentence. But the landing did not help them. The winter storms continued, and wind remained too strong. A distress call was sent, and an ice shelter was built. But the new rescue was impossible before spring. After all, if the weather was too bad for them to take off, it would be the same for the rescuer. But they did not have food for wintering. Planes had been flying with minimum stockpiles to maximize their flight time. Neither did they have fuel to stay warm, except the plane's kerosene. The nearest land was some 100 kilometers south of Bennett Island. Get the plane in the air. It's the only chance. It may take some time until you hear from Kolchak again or dismantle the plane for equipment and push for Bennett. Get that plane in the air. Hopefully we can save him. Odessa's now core. Really, if you can get them down, you're fine. But it's been the whole point of just getting them to be at 30. Could go up to free trade, but I'm not going to. We can solidify control, which we'll do. Doesn't really matter, actually. So you're at 30.
Мирно!
I would like to get all of these cored before the miraculous survival from Senakov land. Against all odds, the sturdy plane of the polar explorers managed to take off on a somewhat calmer day, despite the polar winds trying to crush it against the ice. Pilot Chekalov was able to maneuver the plane to the south for 100 kilometers before they ran out of kerosene and had to crash land some 40 kilometers north of Anzu Islands. What followed was Admiral Kolchak's own three-man ice march to the New Siberian Islands without dogs or sleds. They had little food and hoped they could help if they reached Kotelny Island. By chance, Savatsky Sibir still had not left to the south for winter, as Gorgey Ushkov had wanted to delay its departure with hopes that Kolchak might have survived. They spotted a shot from a flare gun from Koltny Bering Glacier one night, and all hopes on board was rekindled. Hastily, a rescue expedition was organized, which crossed the island against the horrible darkness of the polar night. They found Kolchak, Kolov, and Ziz as an icy shelter they had built too weak to travel anymore. The trio had run out of food days ago and had been without enough fuel to keep themselves warm. The admiral had almost given up when the rescues arrived. He escaped Toll's fate and charted the last remaining corner of the Russian Arctic. Truly a legendary story. Gained 20 naval experience, 10 air experience. He gains media personality, 75 experience, and we gain him back with the effect fleet coordination plus 10%, naval experience gain plus 0.30 daily, ship recovery rate plus 10%, naval mine damage plus 20%. I'm sorry, recovery rate plus 10%, power projection plus 10. It's a legendary story, and we're actually going to immediately take him off because I want decisive battle. Naval air attack from carriers? No. Advisor cannot be dismissed once hired. Insufficient resources, huh? Do you...
Слушаю!
Joint military exercise with the state of Japan. Since the establishment of a friendly government in Japan, our high command has been keen to take opportunities to study the tactics of the former Imperial Japanese Army and Navy, particularly in the field of naval invasions and amphibious warfare. The best proposal for this was a joint exercise, which, moreover, would also benefit the current rebuilding state of Japan Defense Forces. So after months of planning, a joint operation had been held the previous week. During the 3-day exercise, a corps-sized unit was trained to land and capture key strategic points near the shore and defend the newly created beachhead. Our soldiers took part on the offensive side with the Japanese advisors with our war experience assigned to every division. A few years ago, even the most optimistic voice would not have imagined that our two armies would meet in an exercise where they would not only be shooting at each other in imagination or that more or less successful conversations with the suddenly prepared dictionary booklets would take place in such a surprisingly friendly atmosphere. We get Army Navy experience plus 10, and then exercise in the Pacific, which grants invasion preparation time minus 20%, invasion penalty minus 10%, and naval invasion capacity plus 15.
Я готов.
I'm going to get all these territories cored, and then I promise you I'm going to go to war with these guys. This has been like the most adamant thing that I've had to do. I get that he doesn't get as much.
До приказа. Готов. Я готов.
What's those Marines look like? Armored recon companies. Give them helicopter medevacs and we could do land cruisers. Amphibious attack minus 70%. Armored signal corps maybe for that little bit of initiative. What does initiative? The initiative, the quicker it can reinforce the battle, the quicker it gets its planning done. Initiatives, coordinated modifiers. Yeah, we could do that. Get the anti-partisan there. Sheriff is a core. Finally. Homer is a core. Poplov. Of course, Guriv is now a core. Not resistance. I know that hurts them, but I don't really care. I need them to get this over with.
Внимание.
Brest-Litovsk now taking. And Kiev is the last one. The last pain that I have.
Готов выдвигаться.
Alright. Do this project. Oops. Never need that ever again. Maybe. Miniature fighters. Make the motherships even better. And yeah, finally, those are all done. I know they're not all cores yet, but my goodness, that took forever. With that, oh, we got nuclear engines. Our boats. Declare, topple government, call all allies, send. Paris against Moscow. The Second Blitzkrieg did not end with Germany's fall, but continued as the Entente International clashed in North Africa and the North Atlantic. Now a renewed hope for the Entente is lit in the forges of a Russian war machine. All along the borders between the Russian and French spheres, Sir Winston Churchill's twilight struggle has erupted into a struggle for world order so bloody it seems to put the war of the 1940s to shame. Beyond the front lines, the citizens of the warring powers are in danger like never before, with the ardent of aerial death machines that threaten to obliterate whole cities within hours of declarations of war. As both sides mobilize, the few remnants of pre-war peace wonder, will Europe ever rest? We'll crush the revolution just like 1814. Yes. I don't remember how I can use these. You go if you can.
До приказа.
And you Control Shift.
Внимание!
Go. Control Shift. I guess all the way down here. Charismatic, logistical wizard. Go.
Готов?
Here are a few divisions. I'll just send back because I don't want to use them. Knock some planes out. You know, I'll be honest, I have never used nuclear bombs before. Oh, yeah, they're absolutely shredding my units. Lost 70. What? Yeah, just go towards Paris. Don't even try to. Whew. I don't know if you guys are watching that, but that was rough. Well, there was a big naval fight, and then we sunk 21 destroyers and 1 light cruiser. I lost 4 submarines there. 4 submarines there. It's kind of sad, to be honest with you, that in all my years of playing this, I've never used nuclear bombs. This is just a pastime in the game right now. Lucky we've got friends everywhere. Our allies are massive. Really, India and most of our allied nations should be able to just kind of beat through the... Thank you. Lost a submarine. I got some planes. Lost 11 submarines. This is kind of the time where submarines have lost some of their greatness. Especially because they're like super early. We sunk light cruisers and destroyers. Estonia. Armenia capitulates. Iberia declared war. I did call everybody, right? Yes. Wow, the Entente lost 12.59 million. The Third International lost 5.58 million. Big pocket right there. Some destroyers. Christian is wounded, sad. Oh, look it. A naval invasion by the Dominion of Canada. The cooperative of Belgium is destroyed. We'll keep up the good fight for you boys. You guys. You're social democrat. Sorry, I had to take another sip of my drink here. Shelled eyes. Rubber. Dutch East Indies. Pavlis wounded. Yeah. Kiev is now a core. Strategic bombers are ballistic. Oh, I don't think any of my bombs can do nuclear weapons. That's why. I say I might be losing my mind because I don't remember how to do it. Syrian Socialist Republic's gone. Ooh. Keep Orgortam. Or remove him. Adds -5. Stops being a scientist. We'll just have him stop being a scientist. Let's see what we got. Lost 3 destroyers, 4 submarines. They lost 28 destroyers. And 1 light cruiser. Brest is now. Lost some destroyers here. Oh, one of our modern light ships was sunk. We sunk 1 battleship, 22 destroyers, 1 light cruiser, and 2 heavy cruisers, and a lot of
Внимание!
air. Aerial hangars. Davlov. There we go. I see all these being produced. I'm just not gonna click on them just yet. Oh, Canada looks like it. The fall of Paris. Reports from Paris confirm the French capital has been captured by advancing Russian troops after furious fighting across the large avenues in the Sion. French forces put up a stiff resistance, hoping to delay the Russian forces as long as possible, but were eventually beaten back. Yeah, well, that's scripted. It's always, I think, gonna say a certain country. Yeah. It's an equipment. Ships. Hurt. You're hurt. About plumb all of them are hurt, but be alright. Putting up a fist for Socialist Republic of Iran capitulated. We've lost 2.9 million so far. We're dug in deep right now.
Слушаю. Выходим. Готов.
Fish divide. The Persian Gulf.
Внимание.
Thank you guys. Universal. Sure, because we're pretty much done researching planes. Oh, we could have built a better land cruiser and everything else. I forgot. I forgot all about tanks, to be honest with you. Could have had way better tanks than we've been using. Just a big old circle. Republic of Arabia. This is probably a super long video at this point, but
Готов выдвигаться.
I'm trying to finish up this series as best I can. Oh yeah, we're sinking. Oh, that's just naval planes. We're blowing a lot of their naval planes up. Coming to France is 37% post capitulation.
Я готов.
Yeah, their military forces up here are not very strong. But these guys, the channel. Yeah, our Cairo's about. Cairo has fallen, but about to rip through these guys now. Wild Ace appears. France has capitulated. Beautiful. Thank you, France. You know what? Let's build some advanced heavy fighters. Why? I don't know. Yep. Egypt has capitulated. I want to look at you. How you doing, buddy? Do you actually have manpower? Yeah, 1 million. There you go. Well, they're trying to get their troops out now. Another wild ace appears. But I own the sea.
Брось!
care about any of these areas.
Готов выдвигаться.
Let's do that. French operative captured. Help the Americans sink some destroyers. Madrid's fallen. There's a pocket, there's a pocket. Here's a pocket, here's a pocket, there's a pocket. Let's see. Syriza.
Готов выдвигаться.
LA to Plymouth. The Iberian Confederation, Uganda.
Слушаю. Жду приказа. Верно.
The Air Force is north. Figured we owned that area right there, but had to make sure. Guess we can do garden explosives. Let's do the modern tank. We can bolster spirits just to do it. Oh yeah, wait. Oh, I can't go to war on economy because they don't have more than 40% of my. If I would have thought about it, I bet the French do or did.
Готов выдвигаться. Готов выдвигаться.
Wonder if you guys remember these guys. Our penal battalions. I actually never built you guys up, did I? Nope. Almost all the equipment's not ours either.
Внимание. Я готов.
Gotta start pushing. I think my Marines are. Yeah. You go when you're able to. Oh, Japan? Buddy?
Готов выдвигаться.
Buddy, old pale old friend? I like how the Japanese are like, hold my beer. Oop. Little bit of lag for sure. Hold on, Japan. Can't spare the material. Carry out a test. I'll carry out a test. I have bombs. I have the bombs. There we go. Maybe torpedoes.
Внимание.
Fall of London by us. The Union of Britain has taken over leadership.
Так точно. Слушаю.
I will say I haven't announced this just yet, though. We've been playing for a while. I do plan on doing a like a full, what's that called? I'm gonna do like a massive playthrough. All of the recordings I have of this, they're all gonna be put into one, and then that will be a supercut. I'm gonna be doing a supercut of these series, and I think I'll also start doing supercuts for like the duration of the time I do these series. I haven't done them before, but I plan on starting to do them more. Italy's capitulated. Got the little tiny subs. Oh, now we can do catch up with the West. Let's do it. I might give some of the territory down here to the Ottomans. Do kind of want to form the Republic of Arabia. I'm gonna give it to Arabia. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We have so much. All right, all of Italy, all of Belgium, Algeria, Armenia, Egypt, Arabia, Iran, Syria, Mauritania, Tunis, Chile, Kenya can't, Uganda can, all of Spain. What's that? Close. Trying to get all of my territories I want. Stop, United States. Kenya, I can't do. Union of Britain, I could. I could fight for the Union of Britain. But the Libyan plateau, I'll take that. You know what? Give me Scotland. I'll let them have everything else, but I want Scotland. There you go. Oh, wait. Give me Wales, too. As a Welshman, I must liberate the Welsh. Holy cow, come on. Navy, Navy, Navy. All right. Permanent exit. Okay. Slowly crash my game. Turn Irish lands. What lands do I have that would be considered Irish? Why would Ireland have a core? Okay. I'm actually going to wait for all of this to come up. The fate of Rome. Reestablish the Papal States, the Italian Federation, or the Italian Republic. Let's do the Federation. There you go. Spain. Restore under the Alfonsoists. So, Jamie de Bourbon will take power. Romande. So let's do it. Should create a French government in Paris, which we will do. Go to France. Ecuador. Armenia. We'll simulate Armenia. Persia. We'll restore the monarchy. Togoland. Form the state. Uganda. Form Uganda. Ubangi Shari. Form the state. Libya. Yeah, let's do a unified Libya. Egypt. Put it back under the monarchy. Algeria. We'll give it to the French. Chile. Federal government. Wales. Independent. Scotland. Independent. Italy is united under this gentleman right here. Jamie the First. Look at you. You look good, buddy. Alright, let's scroll down. I really don't have any land to give them. Tunis. I guess we can give it to the French as well. The Sudan. Give it to Egypt. Iraq. Let's see. We'll do nothing for now. Let's see. Bit of Malta. We could allow them to be their own little nation. Yeah. I think that makes them... Yeah, it does. Awesome. Anyway. Let's see. You go to Italy. Gibraltar. We'll take. Alice Lorraine. Let's give it to the French, whatever. Brittany to the French. Catalonia. Release Greater Catalonia. Let's give it to the Spanish. Basque County. Give it to the Spanish. Galatia. Give it to the Spanish. The fate of the... Let's see. Where's Coors? Oh. Assimilate. The Levant. Let's see. Give the Levant to our Ottoman allies. Wallonia. Release Belgium as a monarchy. Savoy. French. Corsica. French. Nice. It's French. Erica. Give it to the Chileans. Oh, this is going to take forever. The fate of the Sinai. Give it to the Egyptians. I think you're what? You're French. You're French. I think you're French too, aren't you? Yeah. You're French, and Lyle is also French. So, French. Bay of the Suez. We'll set up the international zone. The Port Said Straits Convention, a flurry of diplomats in all sorts of colors and attire could be seen in the city of Port Said the last few weeks, as negotiations concerning the future of the Suez Canal were in full swing. Although it was long believed that no compromise was going to be found and the Tsarevna of Russia was going to directly assert its control of the canal, a last-minute arrangement was ratified by the Foreign Office in Moscow and conceded the creation of an international zone around the Suez. This zone, for when the great powers that be and the Tsarevna of Russia would be responsible in terms of protection, will be governed as a free state where the foreign investors can have free reign, albeit within the limits of the law. We shall celebrate. Lyle, go back to the French. Hejaz. We'll release Hejaz under Al Hussein. Lebanon. Go to the Ottomans. Iraq. Let's actually give it to the Iranians. The fate of Arabia. Give it to Hijazi. Kurdistan. Split it between Persia and Turkey. There you go. And Khuzestan. Iran. Tri-Russial states, give it to Hejaz. Restoration of the United Kingdom, and a decidedly dramatic turn of events. The Republican regime in the Union of Britain has fallen, and the Royalist government under the House of Windsor has now finally returned to London. King Edward VIII has been formally crowned in Westminster Abbey, fulfilling his life dream of avenging his father's exile during the British Revolution, and already efforts to rid the nation of its syndicalist ties are underway. The Home Isles have been changed beyond all recognition in only a short period of time, and the roots of the leftist influence have been deeply embedded in the institutions of the nation and the psyche of its people. Many across the globe now wait with bated breath to see what actions the newly restored United Kingdom will take on the world stage. A new order, a return of the old. Bahrain, give it to Hijazi. Give it to Hijazi. Malta seeks a union with Italy. Interesting things are afoot on the Isles of Malta. The small island nation has spent over a century as the domain of the British Empire, owing to its immense strategic value over the Mediterranean. With the coming of the British Revolution, the Algerian government was tasked with the protection of the colony. Apparently, they didn't do an incredible job, for now Malta has been taken over and stands as a nominally independent state. Italian irredentists have long been designing upon Malta, claiming that the islands share a cultural history with them and that its strategic position is a crucial step for establishing dominance over the Mediterranean. It would seem the Italian diplomats have been making efforts to persuade the Maltese government to form a sort of federation with them. According to them, this arrangement would better protect Malta in the tense world climate. Their efforts must be bearing fruit, for today Valencia has asked us to approve this federation. Our advisors tell us Malta is far from being a natural part of Italy and retains a very distinct culture, and therefore is far from guaranteed the people of Malta generally want this union. But even so, it would consider consolidate resources in a way that would make the proposal worth considering. Should we approve this? Go ahead or no? It's okay. It'll be okay.
Я готов.
Let's see. What's that? West Garen support. So we got Wales here under H.R. Jones. So they'll probably do Weather the Storm. Either suspend the legislative committee or guided democracy. In Scotland, probably will maintain Scottish democracy, power of the presidency. They might do either one of those. Not really sure. Very cool though. Doing your own. Oh yeah, let's look at the French street. Oh, it's just the old. What about you? Did reopen up, and he gets to do where they were starting out at. So the future of the nation. Okay, well that's nice. The Federation. You can do Italy's United. Okay. It says they can't do that, which is because they're not independent. Libya. You get the reunification. Egypt. Kind of get to stay with what they were doing. So are you. Heshmite Arabia. Actually worked with the Heshmites. That's why I wanted to do that. The Ottomans got a lot more land, and the Iranians can't do any more, but they did do women's rights. So Shah's dead, long live the revolution. Oh, it's because they couldn't redo it, so it makes sense why they would do that. Okay, I understand now. I was gonna try to take Yemen and stuff, but I might just. I don't think I will. I don't think I'll form Heshmite Arabia, but I think we have pretty much done everything we've come out to do, really and truthfully. It won't let me do anything more down here, so I guess I just get to keep this territory. But yeah, I think in all, we have done a lot. Is the Tsarevna of Russia. We own pretty much all of Europe except for Portugal. We conquered China, we conquered Japan, we've got India as our ally. Really, there's not a whole lot more that I'd like to do unless we would do a world conquest, but I feel like we've very much so succeeded in what we wanted to do with this series. So I'm going to end the series here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you all for watching this series. I had a lot of fun playing it. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do it before I left because I had started a Russia playthrough and I never was able to finish it. But now, well, it's finished. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We're going to start up on a new Hearts of Iron 4 series here coming up. But in the meantime, we'll have some more different games that I've been playing out and about on the channel. I hope you guys continue to support the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.